Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to She Is Me, Rabata's educational fundraiser of 2016. We are celebrating 15 centuries of female scholarship, women's contributions to community, and general uplifting of the Ummah. Today, in the 10th century, we are traveling to Africa, to an area once known as Zaria, and today Zaria is a province of Nigeria. And we are going to meet Queen Aminatu. Who is Queen Aminatu? She was a woman of great strength. Her mother, Bakwa Turunku, was queen, and when her mother ascended the throne, she was 16 years old and she began to train in military pursuits. And she learned not only to ride the horseback in a military campaign, something very different than just riding a horse for fun or even for travel. She began to learn to ride horseback for military campaigns. She learned to not only wield weapons, but also to lead and understand the strategy of a military and the purposes behind a military. Later on, when her mother dies, the first one who was supposed to take on the reign was actually her younger sister, whose name was Zaria, hence the name of the province. But we don't really know what happened to her. She disappeared and never took the reign. It's said that she was the most beloved of her parents, and that's why they named the region after her. After that, her brother, Karama, he most likely did take the reign for about 10 years. And finally, when he left, died, when Aminatu was 34 years old, she took the reign and led Zaria for 34 years. Now that by itself is a really amazing thing, because we're talking about a time when there's a lot of war, a lot of tribal unrest, and no unity at all. One of the things she's credited with actually is being the first ruler to unify that large of a region under one authority. Now, how did she do that? How she did that was certainly with military expeditions. When she took on the rule, she herself began to go out in military expeditions in order to bring in areas under her leadership. She had some really creative ways of both her military expeditions and also her reasoning. So she was doing this to protect trade and to stop the random wars and random attacks on caravans and such. And what she would do is when she would set up a place for the military to work from, to camp, so a military camp, she would build an earthen wall around it. And those earthen walls were there as a fortress, as protection, but they also remained. And so after the military would leave, those walls would stay and little cities would build up between them. So it became a very safe path between one earthen walled city to another. And it said that some of those walls still exist today. She also introduced a lot of new goods and products into the region. One of them is cola nuts, which came over from the area of the Sudan into this Zaria region. She was a strong, fierce leader. The truth is we don't have a huge amount of information about her, and there is some legend around her as well. Some which may be true and some which may not be true. For our purposes here, we are celebrating Queen Aminatu of Zaria for her strength in leadership, authority, consistency, contribution to the Ummah, and contribution to community and uplifting of the Ummah by uniting and strengthening this Hausa land, this province of Zaria, strengthening people such that the towns could live in relative safety and economic prosperity. And her toughness. And holding the poster is one of the toughest young women I know. Her name is Amaya Zafa, and she is 16 years old, and she is a boxer. I met Amaya a couple of years ago, and she is a young, intelligent, bright, sweet, polite, oh, just a pleasure to be around young women. And she took up boxing, which she does in her hijab, and she's in the featherweight division, and she is becoming really a great boxer. And she's pursuing this. And her mother said about her that her boxing has made her walk more confidently. It's given her a strength of confidence as she goes out and faces the world. And her parents are very proud of her. We're all proud of Amaya and her commitment. In Ramadan, she is she is contributing to community by holding boxing classes for young women, for young women, at 1 in the morning every night. So after Taraweeh and before Suhoor, helping young women become strong and feel good about themselves. She's also working to be the first woman boxer to wear hijab in competition. Right now, she's fighting with care to be allowed to compete and fight in her hijab. Until now, she has not been able to do that. She is training and sparring, but she hasn't been able to join an actual competition, being held back by the rules of the Boxing Federation. And CARE is working with her, and she is working hard and hoping to change those rules in order to open up more doors for young Muslim women to do and dream and contribute and uplift. Thank you, Amaya, and thank you, Aminatu, for all of your work. Please go to support.rabata.org and support the programs that are working to keep the contribution of female scholarship, commitment to community, and contribution to community, and the uplifting of the Ummah alive today. Contribute to Daybreak Store, a place of gathering where people come to pray Taraweeh every night, a place where nonprofits come and are able to present their work to the public in meetings or in presentations, and the service of helping Muslims get involved in social justice and being open to the wider community. Contribute to Daybreak Press, to Ribaat, to Leadership and Legacy, to SNAP, Sisters Need a Place. Remember that SNAP and Rabata Care are both Zakat eligible, and all of the programs need your help and your support as we work forward and walk forward to really uplift one another. Thank you, and salam alaikum. Support.rabata.org.